Good evening, everybody. We are back with a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've never actually done this before, but I noticed a very quite old comment that someone had left on one of my videos on Instagram, basically asking if I renovate builds that other people have made. Now, I thought this was a super cool idea because that means that it gives me a basically entirely different perspective on some of the other things that people make. And so I checked out their username. The thing is, this person is clearly very good at doing builds, so I think I'm going to struggle a little bit in actually being able to design something that is better, but I think it could be good to just sort of get an idea of making something that is just in my style as opposed to their style. Now, this is the one I'm going to be going with. I haven't had a look at it yet. I've just looked at it from the outside and I know like the general gist of like what is inside the build. I've obviously picked packs that I have that they also have, but that might change. I'm not entirely sure how many packs they have, so it might be that they unfortunately can't download this, but this is the one that I'm going to go with. And their name is LuckaCapitan. If you'd like to have a look at their gallery, they do have some really good stuff on there, so I would definitely check it out. So I've never actually done a renovation on anyone else's build before, so this should be quite interesting. I do have a few little bits that I'm already noticing that I'm like, I could change that. And that's sort of that we've got kind of like a dining table in like the middle of the path. I might shift it over a little bit so it's over here. I'm not too sure how much I'm actually going to change about the sort of external walls of the building. So this is like clearly a bit more of a modern build because we've got some sort of like plate things on the top. We've got a quite like cute little like fire pitty thing down here. I like all of these like big trees that we've got all across this edge part. I'm probably going to leave that because I think that looks really cool. We do also have like a little car section over here on the front bit. I think that's quite cool. We've got two garages obviously there. Let's have a look at the inside. I quite like the front as well. I think I might do a little bit with the front just because it looks a little bit plain. Like weirdly from looking at it from the outside, you can't really tell which one's the front entrance. So let's have a look at what's on the inside. Okay, so we've done so he's done a cheat here where obviously we've kind of put in blocks of things, then we've put a bed over the top of it. So I quite like that. I've used that cheat quite a few times. It's a good one. Let's have a look at what else we've got. So we've got a little desk there. Let's actually raise the walls up a little bit. I might change some of the walls. We do have like sort of the same flooring and walls across the entire house. I know that is kind of like a style that you would have in this like more like warmer climate kind of style of house that he's actually made here. Then we have a little entrance hallway here with a bunch of shoes and some shoe boxes and a little seat. Obviously a tiny little bathroom here, which is quite cute. Then we've got a massive kitchen. I like the kitchen. It's got a lot of appliances. It's got a little dishwasher, little oven with this big back section of all these cabinets, which is quite good. We've got two sinks. I know that that's a thing that some people do in like bigger houses. We've got big rug here, obviously with two little seats and a sofa. I might change that around a little bit. I do like this massive TV and these, which I quite like these little like curtains as well on the side so that you can make it a bit darker for when you're watching things. Very large dining table with a big sliding door that leads you out to the garden. That's quite good as well. We've got a bit more of a rustic sort of bedroom here where we've got different walls and things. We've got a big blank wall, which I will probably put some stuff on because I'm not a big fan of blank walls. Another sort of partly rustic kind of bathroom. I quite like that one though. I think that's quite good. Then a lovely, again, quite rustic big bedroom. Not a massive fan of the different coloured frames, but I do like the fact that it's all the same picture. So I'm probably gonna maybe do something similar where it is the same kind of style of picture, but across there. Two wardrobes there, which is quite good again, and another big sliding door section. I like the fact that it's got curtains on it. I think that looks really cool. We've also got a little sort of, I would call this like a hobby room kind of thing, because you've got the gym equipment, you've got a little music station, another little speaker, and then you've got a piano there. So it's, well, a keyboard. So it's kind of like all your bits that your sim would want to do in terms of a hobby, which I quite like that as well. You can customize that obviously as well if you downloaded this to be whatever hobbies your sim actually did. So I do quite like this. I don't really know what I'm going to do to renovate it because it is quite a good build. Like if I downloaded this, I don't even think I would really change anything straight off the bat because it's just got kind of everything that you would need. So I think what I'm gonna do is probably just amend some stuff around a little bit. I might put the dining room more next to the kitchen, and I'm gonna try and change maybe the overall style. So obviously we've gone with kind of a clearly like a warmer kind of area, so I might change it to just like a bit more of a cleaner, more modern design. I think that could be quite good. I'll probably leave the cars. I like the idea of the garage and the little hobby room, so I'll probably just amend a couple of those bits. I might change the walls and stuff as well. And I definitely want to add a little bit to this front section. I do like what they've done here though with these bits. I think this looks really cool with the car, so I'm probably going to leave that. We do have like a blank kind of step all the way around as well, so I might raise the whole thing up just to give it a bit more like shape to it, because it's quite a flat build and I prefer my build to be like a little bit more up and down. So I'm trying to think about where to start. So I'm not the biggest fan of this flooring, so I might change it. I could actually just change it just by sticking a different flooring over the top though. I'm thinking a pebble or something kind of ground like this might look a little better. I think I'm going to go for like more of a more greener kind of modern whites, and I'm trying to think of like what kind of color palette would be quite good. I do like the fact that this house is quite warm, so I might try and keep that similar kind of like warm colors, so reds, oranges, browns, kind of like earth tones. I think that could be quite good. I'm going to use this for our outside like sort of tiling. It's changed it all the way around here as well. I'm going to get rid of this just because I think it's in the way of our walkway. Not like the biggest fan of just it sort of being in the way. I do like this big pool. I think that is quite good. I might change the walls just because again that's kind of that style of like a little bit warmer. I might change it for something like a hedge. I think that could be quite good. I might not change it all the way around though, so I think I'm going to do little bits of it. I do like this little pit that's here. I could try and change like the style of it a little bit and see whether that does much. And I would like a different kind of wall to go all the way across here. I think they may have forgotten to put in their mailbox as well, because it's just randomly in the corner of the build, which I literally always forget to put in mailboxes too, so that's fair. Trying to think of something that would work in this back section here. I would like something that's a little bit different from the hedge, just because the hedge can be a bit overwhelming as it blends into the ground and it can make it not look that great. I am thinking something like this might be quite good. I don't know if it's going to work with this back section over here though. Let's see how that looks. Does that look okay? I think it's got a bit too much greenery on it, to be honest. This one looks a little bit better. I think I'm going to go with this, and then I got to work out what's going on over here, because I do really like this pit. I think the pit idea is really cool. I could just do the same kind of back section there. Then I'm going to get rid of these loungers and I might put a dining table there instead, just to like mix it up a little bit. Then I do want to keep this, but I kind of want to change it up a little bit. So what has he done? He's put end tables here so that it blends in with the color there and it makes it look a bit more like it's a pit, which is really cool. So what I think I'm going to do is actually extend it out a little bit more. I'm going to add a back wall in here, I think, instead of this fence, just because I think it's a little bit in the way and we can do a bit more with it, I think, if we have a wall. Okay, I'm going to go with that because it matches this top part, and then we can go in and start adding in our little bits onto this part, which I'm excited about. I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. I could do something similar to what they did, where we have kind of the seating around the outside and then we have a little like fireplace kind of thing in this wall here. Here we go. So we do have these little like campfires, so I think I might include one of these just literally in the middle there. Obviously we're veering away from black, so maybe something like this would look quite good. It's quite pink though, or we've got like earth tones, which is what I was suggesting originally. I think this one looks a little bit better, and we can do these like literally all the way around. And then how does this look? I think it might need a little corner like table or something on this side. I'm just going to go with this one because it's got the little nice like glass top to it, which makes it clearly look like it's a side table. Then obviously we need some lights and stuff, and I do want to put something on this back wall as well. So I added these ones in, and I think that matches pretty well in terms of the color. And then obviously we need to go through and try and work out the back section over here and what we can do there, and leave it looking like a little bit more rustic around the rest of it. But we definitely need a couple of things on these little tables here. I think it needs some plants and maybe another light. Well, we could put two lights in these corners. That might actually work a little bit better. So I'm going to go with succulents on maybe this one. I think that will look a little bit better with these. Then we'll do like a bit more of a potted plant on that side. Maybe just something modern like this. Yeah, that looks quite good. And then we'll go ahead and add in lights on these two corners here. I feel like I've spent way longer than needed literally just on this one section here, but I just think it looked so cool and I wanted to make sure it looked like just as good going into it. I'm also thinking we could actually just have these hanging lights, which I think look kind of cool as well, but I don't know if they work hanging off of here. Oh no, they look pretty cool. Okay, yeah, we'll do those and I'll put them on both sides. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Now let's go over to this part, which I'm going to do a dining table. I definitely think we need an area with a barbecue as well, so I'll work that out in a second. So for this, I did actually kind of like like the dining table that they had. I think it was just in slightly the wrong place. I don't know whether I'm going to go with something similar though. We do have like some darker wood ones that might match a little bit better with the boards that we've like with the section we've put on next to it. So we can either go with, I think, a barbecue or a bar. And I'm now actually thinking that a bar might be really cool in this little section here. And then we could bring it over here and do some seating maybe on this section. But obviously the idea is that you get your drink from here and then you can go over here and then drink your drink in this little pit, which I think could look really good. So I think I'm going to go with that idea. Another idea is that we actually go with a tiki bar and we do like this here. I actually really like that. I think that looks so cool. It's a bit huge, but I think it actually looks kind of cool. And then I'm going to actually pull this in a little bit just so that it gives us a bit more space on both sides. Then I'm definitely going to add a few little chairs as well. We could also match the chairs to the ones down there, which I think I am going to do just to make it look a little bit better. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to do the chairs there, but I think I will actually add some little tables just out here. There you go. So I think I'm going to do maybe 2 of these just here so that we've got a few more chairs where you can just sit and enjoy your drinks. I am going to like move them a little bit so that they're a little bit more like separated and they're a little bit more random as well. We'll add maybe 1 more chair into here. There you go. That looks a little bit better. I like that a lot more. I think we definitely need some more lights though, because if you're going to be out here quite a bit, you're going to want a lot more light. Ooh, I'm half tempted to add like 1 of these in because these look really cool, but they're slightly too tall. So if I make them smaller, it might work. They actually fit perfectly with this. So if I can somehow like, is there any chance that they come in the right color? No, they're a bit too light. Can I get these ones in a different color? Yes, I can get them in brown. So if I do this and then I do it again, does that work? No, there's too many of them. They end up like mashing into each other. Does that look kind of normal? It actually doesn't look that bad. They just look like they're really weird shapes. So I think I'm going to leave it as that because I think that actually looks kind of cool. Then let's move on to our pool area, which is this super long bit here. I want to change the rim and then I just want to change the actual colors of the inside of the pool. I think I'm going to change it to something like this just so that we've got kind of a brown tone going on. So it ends up being a little bit more warmer. Maybe do this for the bottom part as well. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Then obviously we're going to want to change the pool rim because we're trying to avoid these black colors. And I am just going to change the pool to my favorite pool type, which is this one from the Get Together pack, the sparkling one, just because I think it always looks like super nice when you put it into the build. And then I can just add it into the middle there and it looks pretty good. There we go. That looks quite nice. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Then we can move on to the other bits. So I mean, I really like this. I think that looks really pretty, so I'm going to keep that looking the way that it is. Obviously we've changed some of these areas here. I was going to lift the entire thing up. I think that they've actually used platforms in order to do some of the, I think the whole thing is actually on a platform, which is a little strange. Like I would have just done it where you've risen the whole thing up, but I think it might be so that they don't need to add in like stairs or anything anywhere. But as I said, I wanted the whole thing risen up, so let's try and work out a good like level for it to all be on. There might be a reason why they did it all with platforms, so I'm going to see if it does work raising it up. I do love these. I think I'm probably going to keep those. One of the other things that I need to have a look at obviously fixing now is a lot of the edges that I've now made from like the platform and everything being risen up. I do also want to change the roof and like maybe this color here. I'm not like the biggest fan of the roof. I think it could be a lot nicer. The shape, gorgeous, love the shape. So I think I am going to keep the shape of it, but I might just change it to a slightly different roof just because I'm not a massive fan. There we go. So now we have a cool little glass skylight, which I think looks really cool, makes it look a lot more unique. Then if I go through and just add these in, we do obviously need like a little bit of edge as well, but now we can see all the way through and it actually goes through to this outside section, which I don't know if I love. I might have to like amend it a little bit. I could just pull this back and obviously that would happen where we then only have it on the inside. I do think that looks a little bit better actually, so I think I'm going to stick with that. Just think that's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and just change all of the walls on the outside, and I do also want to change the windows. I think what I'm going to do is actually just remove all the windows and I'll work out new placements for the windows after. Then we need to go in and add in our steps. See, now I'm tempted to just add in steps the entire way. Yeah, I'm going to add in steps the entire way. I feel like that's wasted all of the time and effort I've put into doing all the rest of it, but I think it looks way better with the steps going all the way there, especially this one because this is a much lighter color. So I'm going to do that on all of these bits here. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, then we'll go in and add that at the front as well. Okay, so I think we're now good to go on to the inside. I'm going to do the windows all on the inside, I think, just to make it look like a bit more like thought processing into like actually doing the items and where they should be in relation to the windows. If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to like, share and subscribe. Okay, so going on to the inside of the house, we are going to start with, I guess, the hallway. So I do like the collection of shoes. I think I'm going to keep that. I am going to remove these two pictures and this, though, just because I would rather get some kind of coat rack in there. I think that would make it look a little bit better. In terms of our front door, now, I could go with something like this. Obviously, we do already have the like edges on there, so that part doesn't really make sense. Let's have a look at what else we could kind of do. I do like the idea of having this where it's actually a much larger area, and that kind of does work. How does it look in terms of the color palette though? I mean, that does kind of work because it's quite red like a lot of the other woods that we've done. I don't know if it's a bit too red though. I think it's fine. It's fine. And then let's go ahead and maybe just add something over here. I see. I would rather like have a little chair here than where it had it in the last one, where it was sort of inside. I think it'd be nice to have one there. I think maybe something like this would be quite good. I actually really like that, but the problem is that the wood doesn't match with the wood on here. I think I do want to change this though. I'm not a massive fan. Let's see if we can find a slightly different shade. This one's a little bit better. It matches the roof. So let's go with that, and then maybe a different color for this. This one's quite good. Yeah, I like that more. It's a bit more neutral tone. Then obviously we still need our mailbox, which I'm thinking I just want to put like down here somewhere. Just gonna choose like quite plain one. I think I'm gonna go with like this, and we'll put it here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Then I am gonna then go inside. I mean, to be fair, I could have a plant just here, just to make it feel a little bit more lively out here. I think I'm going to use this one and then maybe just change the pot. Yeah, we'll change it to this dark color. I think that looks pretty good. Then we can go on to the inside, where my idea is sort of to have a coat rack here. And then I do like the idea of having pictures on the other wall. So I think I'll do that, but I'll choose slightly different pictures. I think I'm going to go with this one. This one kind of looks the best, I think, out of all of them. I kind of feel like I do want to move these up, so I might have to just wiggle some stuff around though. There we go. I think that's all right. I think this person has a little bit of a shoe addiction, and I do want to add something to this corner here. I think I'm going to add a plant. Something like this goes with that picture that we just picked. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then obviously I want to change it, like a lot of the walls and things that are around here. I think that they're quite plain, and I especially want to change the flooring. So I think in regards to the walls, maybe adding like a rim to the bottom of it might be a little bit better. Obviously we do want to keep that kind of warm feeling, so the color is quite good, but I'm not the biggest fan of it being like such a plain wall. Maybe, so this is literally like such a similar color, but it's just got a brown rim, and I like that a lot more. I feel like it still like has all of the like warm feeling that you need from it. I do want to add a little something else to this wall. I think it's just looking a little bit too empty. There we go, that's a little bit better. Then I do actually really like the bathroom that's in here. I don't think that there's a lot else that I would even want to change, to be honest. I think maybe the fact that it's got a different coloured wall to this wall, I can see why they've done that, but I personally just am not the biggest fan of it. I think if I was going to do that, I would have to do this to be like a white wall. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that's a little bit better. Then I think I want to add like a little bit more colour to this room. So I'm going to do this and this just to change it up a little bit. And then I think I just want to change the flooring just to maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that works a little bit better. Or we can do that same flooring that they were doing, but change the colour a little bit. Yeah, I like that more. Okay, let's go with a slightly lighter colour then, like that. And then I'm pretty happy with that. I think it actually looks pretty good without any kind of intervention. Although I do want to change the door. I think the door's a bit too modern for what we're kind of changing it to be. We'll just kind of add in a regular brown door like that. Then I do want to change the flooring, but I think I'll do that in a second. I do actually no, yeah, we'll change the flooring now. So I do like the wood, and to be honest, this is like one of my favorite woods to use, so I possibly would have used this as well. I think the issue that I'm having is that it is the same in pretty much every room of the house, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think if I was going to do that, I'd have to pick one that blends in a little bit better with each other. It's got a bit too much grain. I think that's the problem. And I actually think that it's kind of going the wrong way. I think that it should be going this way. That looks a little bit more soothing to the eyes. So I think I'm going to go with that one instead. And I am definitely going to change it in all of the other rooms as well. To be honest, you could do the same thing in the bathroom as well. How does that look? I actually kind of like that. I think I'm going to do that in the bathroom as well. Then I am going to change it again when we get into this room. I think what I'm going to do is actually split it off. So we're going to use the same walls pretty much everywhere till we get to this kitchen here, which I think I'm actually going to remove the entire kitchen. We'll redo the kitchen just so that we are changing quite a bit about it. It's not necessarily that the kitchen's bad or anything. I actually quite like the kitchen. I just want it to look a bit more different if I'm changing it out. Although I do really like the curtains, so I think I'm going to keep the curtains. I do want to change the living room as well, but I'll fiddle with that after I've sorted out the kitchen. So obviously window wise, we do need some windows on this back section here where clearly they were previously. I am thinking to make it like a little bit more homely. Having a lot of smaller squares inside of the windows actually does make it slightly more comfortable. So I think I'm going to go with something like this. Let me just double check that that works with our ceiling. It actually works pretty well. So yeah, I'm going to go with something like this just because I think it does make it feel a little bit nicer. It does like split it up a little bit, makes it give you like even just a little bit more privacy, even though technically it's not really giving you much more. And then what I'm going to do instead of having a massive island is I'm actually going to loop it round so that we've got one section over here, maybe for something specific like coffee. And then we've got a big section that comes around here with a little like breakfast bar type thing. So we're almost splitting the room in half again, but it's just like, because it's such a huge room, and obviously we do have the sofa and like the living area in the same room, I do think it needs to be split up even just a little bit so that it feels a little bit less daunting. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do that is basically by using these little sort of, I don't even know what they're called, like elongated cabinet kind of things. These are almost the same size as the ceiling, so it does kind of work. It does somewhat like split up the room a bit, but I think it's fine. We can then go ahead and add in the rest of them. So to do that, I'm literally just grabbing these ones. I think I'm going to have to like change them around a little bit, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so what I've done is basically just added them here, and then I'm going to grab a skinny one and literally just put that on these two top sections here, and then that basically just makes a tiny little breakfast bar. I think that looks pretty good, and then we can go ahead and keep building on the inside here. Perfect. Now we've got our little rounded kitchen here. We can add in our oven, and then obviously got to go grab our sink as well. Then what I'm going to do is just grab a bunch of these and just add them all across the top. We want obviously the skinnier one. I am going to have to like merge them a little bit to get them all to fit, which is a little bit annoying, but if we go like that, at least then it looks pretty good. Another alternative is that we actually just combine them, which I've never done that before, but it actually looks really cool. So I think I am going to do that. This is kind of giving us like a good, like everything's on the same level where you're cooking kind of feeling. But this is the part where I was saying I'm going to change the wallpaper so that we actually have a slightly different wall behind all of this. So what I was thinking was trying to go with something like this, where it does feel a little bit different. The only issue is it can't go all the way because of where we've got the things already laid out. I might have to do some wiggling around to get it to work. Okay, there we go. So I've done some wiggling around and now it does line up properly, which is perfect. And then we can go ahead and work out the rest of it. I don't know if that is actually the pattern that I want to go with. I think I'm going to have a quick look and see if there's anything that's better, because we do have some stuff like this which might work nicer. Yeah, that definitely looks better. Then I think I'm going to do this all the way in the kitchen, all the way up to where it ends there. But that does mean that I'm going to have to, actually we could just do it all the way there. Yeah, that works. Gives us a little bit of a different feeling. And because of that, I am going to slightly change the color of these. Perfect. And then now we can go to the other side where I want to do something similar, and then we can have that as like a little coffee station, and obviously we need to put our fridge there as well. So for that, I'm just going to grab a couple of edges and we can just put them there. And then for our fridge, I'm just going to stick it on this edge bit here. There we go. Then for our coffee station, I definitely want like something that makes it feel a little bit more unique there. I'm thinking we get some kind of nice lights either side and make it feel like it's lit up a little bit better. Ooh, we could actually put this in this corner. That could work. I feel like it's going to make it feel a little bit more industrial though, so I don't know if it's actually going to work. No, actually, I kind of feel like it does weirdly work with this. If I make it brown, I think it maybe works a little bit better. Yeah, blends in a little bit more. So yeah, let's go with that, and then let's add in our little coffee appliances. So obviously we need that part, this part, and then we need something for this edge part there. I do want to add a couple more bits in as well, like this, which I'm going to have to like drag in. Then I was thinking we could actually just put like a bowl of fruit or something there. Oh, that kind of looks cool. Then let's go back over to this section. We can add some little bits of decoration around here just to add a bit more to it. I am gonna shift these around a little bit just because the overall like sizing of that room has kind of changed now. There we go, that's a little bit better. Then we've got to go in and just add some bits. I'm thinking a small little plant on that corner here. Then we need a plant in this corner. I'm probably going to go with just like this one maybe. Or what else have we got? I could do this one. Yeah, I quite like that one. Then obviously we need more bits that you would actually have in a kitchen, so things like these. Then I pretty much always put a pan on here, so I'm just going to add a small one in this corner there. Don't know if yellow is the plan, but I think we have like quite a few little yellow bits around, so I guess it kind of works. Then obviously we need some more little bits like this fire, like smoke alarm. I'm going to put that I think here. Then we've got these, which I think these are the perfect color. I'm actually going to put them onto this here so that it looks a little less like plain. And if we just pop them there, is that attached? Nope, we need them a little bit further back. There we go. So yeah, now we've got those on there and that looks a little bit better. Then I think we'll take it back a little bit from the more like modern look, and we'll add in some pans because I think that those look really cool added in there. Then we do have like this big space on the floor here that feels like it's quite empty. I'm tempted to add in a rug just to make it feel like the space is a little bit more used. We obviously want like, I guess, more of a modern rug, even if it's just something plain like this. Actually, that works really well. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. I don't think there's a lot else I actually want to add into this kitchen. I think it looks really cool. We can move on to the living room, which is this bit. I absolutely love what they have done here. It's literally just two of these little tables that they've combined into a little mat. So I think I'm going to leave that because that actually looks really cool. The only annoying thing is I'm going to shuffle like everything up a bit, which means we're going to have to like manually move everything. But obviously they've kind of shuffled everything first. There we go. I think that's about right. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Then we can go ahead and remove the rest. So not the biggest fan of the sofa. Definitely going to change the sofa. I think I'm going to change the fireplace as well. I'm fine with the TV. And then I'm not a big fan of this lamp. Then we're going to shuffle everything forward like so. And then I'm going to go grab another sofa that we can put here instead. And I think I am actually also going to change this rug. I didn't originally feel like I was going to change it, but I definitely kind of think it's a little bit too modern. So let's go ahead and grab a different sofa. Obviously we are going for comfy in this house, so the comfiest sofa would be good. Personally, I think this looks like the most comfy sofa, and I would actually have this in like my house because I just think it looks so plush. Now I was thinking about keeping this side table. I think we'll put it here for now because I do obviously want another chair there like they had, but I didn't like the two little ones next to each other, so I'm going to add in a slightly different chair. I was thinking more of like a love seat. How about like this? I mean, I actually really like it because I think it goes with the other sofa. I don't even think they're from the same pack, but they like weirdly go together. So I think I'm going to go with that one. And then we can go ahead and add in a different rug. I was thinking like one of these ones, maybe. Depends on the colours that it comes in. It's a bit too blue, actually. How about this one? Does this make it feel a little bit more cozy? Yeah, I think that looks a lot more cozy. Okay, we'll go with that. Can I fit a fireplace in, or will it be a bit too big? Because obviously it did have a fireplace there last time. I would like another fireplace, but I don't know whether I'll find one that kind of goes with the feeling of this room. We could add a much more modern one in, but we're trying to go a little bit cozier, I think. I think I'm going to go with this one because this one looks a little bit better. And then for the TV, I don't know how I feel about it. It just seems very big and it kind of takes up like a lot of space. I think instead of a TV, let's not go with TV, and instead we're going to go with a big either mirror or picture, depending on which one I can find that looks better. I think I'm going to go with this one because it's got a lot of tones of red and it kind of looks like really cool. And then I am going to pull in both of these sides when we add in our windows. It's basically just pull it in there, pull this in as well. There we go. And then we can go ahead and add in our windows. So obviously we're going to go with a similar one to the last one that we picked on the opposite side of the room so that it actually does match. I think something like this would actually be really good. So let's go with this one. I'll stick it so it's just about there, which I think is like teetering on like the border of this like floorboard here, but that looks pretty good. I like that. Then obviously we need to put our lamp back in over here. I'm going to choose a slightly different lamp, I think, as I'm personally not the biggest fan of that one that was there. This one's really cute. It's got a little fox on it. I'm actually going to pick it because I think it adds to the coziness of the room. And then I think that room's done, so we can move on to the next one, which is back in here. And we've got our dining room. So I'm not gonna lie, like the dining room I actually am a pretty big fan of. I think the plants, actually, do the plants kind of go? I think they do go. Not the biggest fan of this like alternating picture thing. I think what might be a better idea is actually doing 3 one on top of the other. So if we go 1, 2, we have gone with a slightly lighter brown in here, which we'll see if it works. Then we'll grab another one and just do it underneath here. We'll do all of the landscaping type style for them. Then I am going to move this to the other side, so we've got that here instead. Change the plants that we have here. I'm then going to add in, I think, a larger wall unit on either sides here. I'm actually going to move these over a little bit. We'll put them more like this, basically just so that they're in line with the actual table. It makes it look more like a feature piece. Then I think here I'm going to add a little bookcase there, and then maybe just some shelves on the other side or something. Or I kind of like the more crowded design. We could go with something like that, but that is white like far out, which I don't know how much I like that. An alternative is that we actually use something like this, which might work a little bit better. See, this is the issue, that we've gone with a much lighter brown in this room than we did with all the other ones, but we could try and match it. I think these ones kind of go a little bit better. Okay, that's not too bad. And then let's go in and grab some decorations. I'm just thinking like some little storagey bits. Actually, I guess you wouldn't really have those there. I guess you'd want something that's a little bit nicer to look at. There we go. I think that works a little bit better. I am going to just also add a couple of bits to this table over here and probably change the plants that are on the table. So I'm thinking maybe not flowers, something like this. I know we've already used it in the kitchen, but I actually just really like them as a general plant. I think they look really cool. Then I'm thinking a mirror over here as well. Something quite simple like this works, I think. Even in white, I think it works pretty well. Then definitely another plant over here, and even just one works quite well. I think we're trying to do a little bit more minimalist in this room, but I think that works. I don't know why these aren't in line with the table. Definitely in line those with the table. And I did change the color of those as well, the doors, just to be a redder color so that it matches with the outside. Then I think that's pretty good in here. So then we can move on to our other rooms, where we've got the bedrooms. So we've got a bunk bedroom, a double bedroom, and another double bedroom. Then we've obviously got our little like activity kind of room, and then we've got another bathroom. So I'm gonna mimic the wallpaper in here. Then we're gonna go ahead and do, I guess, this room first. So personally, I do really like what they've done with this. I think the issue, I'm trying to see what the issue is that I have with it. I think it might just be the pictures in the back, but even then the pictures are still pretty good. Maybe it's the color scheme. Yeah, I think this would be a little bit better as like instead of the white, just because I think it was a bit too much. But I actually really like this as a whole. I'm not a massive fan of the rest of the room, so I think I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of the stuff. This desk is pretty good though. I can see what they've done in terms of getting us like a second monitor, which is really cool. So I might leave that there, but to be honest, I would put the desk over here instead so that you can look out the window while you're using it. So to do that, we're just going to grab the same monitor. It's on the right angle anyway. We're just going to stick it here so that we still have that second monitor. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in our desk. I'm going to pull it forward a little bit. I might have to move the TV actually a little bit forward. There we go. I think that works pretty well. Then we can go ahead and add in our windows again. So I'm going to use similar windows to the one that we used over here for this big section here. Then for this smaller section, we're going to want this one, which is just slightly smaller. That looks pretty good. I think the table does need a little bit of something else on it. Obviously, it is like a little bit annoying that you're kind of cutting into it there, but I think it still kind of works. I like it, the desk, way more like in front of a window, just because I think it makes it feel a little bit nicer. Then we'll just grab another plant. I'm going to put that there. Then we have all of this space. So I was actually thinking, because we don't have a TV in the main living room, we can grab a TV and actually have them in the bedrooms instead. So I'm going to add one there, and then we'll add a short table underneath it. carpet and then put some decorations, and then obviously we need a wardrobe. I am again going to change the flooring. I think what I'm going to do is actually add in carpet instead, just so that it's a bit more comfortable. And then I do want to get rid of that rug. I'm not a massive fan. For our carpet, I'm thinking just this cream color, which works quite well the rest of the room. We'll grab a little light maybe and just put it, I'm trying to think. I definitely want a light somewhere. They obviously put their light like here or something in the middle of the room, which I think it might be better to do something a bit more, how do I even know, like over here. I think this one might be a little bit too modern. I don't know. How does this look? I kind of like that actually, because it kind of climbs up the wall. Then we can put our wardrobe over here. I feel like the color that we're going for is yellow, but I kind of like this wardrobe, so I might pick this one. Okay, I'm going to swap these around though. So we're going to move that there, pop this here. Yeah, that looks okay. And then we can put a big mirror here. Just one like this. Perfect. Then the last thing I'm kind of thinking for this room is if we push this over here instead, we could add in a little spinny ceiling fan, something like this. There we go. I think that's a little bit more my taste. I don't know how I feel about this being this color though. Maybe grey. Yeah, grey works a little bit better. I think this bed looks a little bit nicer as well in that color. Okay, how does this look? I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, let's go with that then. Then we can move on to our next room, which is our kids' room, I'm assuming, which I am not the biggest fan of, so I'm actually going to remove all of these bits. Then go ahead and grab our window. So we've got a smaller window, I believe. Oh no, it's a bigger window, so we can grab a big window, pop that there. We can do the same in here as well. Then really not the biggest fan of the colors in here, so I think what I'm going to do is go blue and yellow, and we'll try and like make it a little bit of a cooler looking room. Maybe blue and yellow, purple and yellow maybe. We haven't done much blue in the entire thing, so I think that might be a bit much. Let's go with an orange fluffy carpet. Grab ourselves maybe something like this. We've gone with like dark floor for the rest of it. I do actually prefer the walls that were in the other room in this one, so I'm gonna go with that. And then we can, I don't mind like this one wall being here. I think it might just need like a pillar or something just to make it a little bit different, just because it does split it up between like where you're gonna have like your beds and things. Okay, I think it changed my mind on the wallpaper. I want to try and find something a little bit different. What about if we do like a slightly older kids room, and we can do this, then change the floor again. It definitely needs like a color scheme. I just don't really know which one I want to go with. Blue would make it stand out a lot from the rest of them. Maybe like this light pink color. Yeah, that's quite a good color actually. Then we can do the similar floor that we were thinking. It's way more girly room now though, but that's fine. It looks okay. Then let's go ahead and grab our other pieces of furniture. I think let's do one kids room instead, and we'll do something like this, which I think this is really cool. I've never used this bed before. I just think it looks awesome, and it goes really well in this room as well. Then let's grab a mirror down here, something like there probably works quite well. Or actually, yeah, we'll do it. Actually, let's do it on the other side, because here we can have the wardrobe, and or we put the wardrobe on that side. Let's do wardrobe-y desky bit there. Then let's put this on this side. Then we can put a mirror on the other side. I think that'll work better. Pop some plants and things on there, and then obviously this is a kids room, so we're gonna need a lot of plushies and things too. I want like this bit over here to be like a kids play area, so I'm gonna add some of those little bits in too. Or we could do it as a castle. I think the castle looks a bit cooler. Yeah, let's go with that. Then on the other side we need to work out some bits, because I didn't like that it was left kind of plain in the last one. I feel like it needs like a big bookcase or something. Could look really cool. Maybe just do all the ones from the pastel pop set, although I don't think this one goes that well. Or like this one maybe. Actually, yeah, that one works really good. Cool, I like that. Then maybe some more plants or a cool light or something. Oh, we've got these as well, and I think these look really good. Yeah, definitely including those. Then finally, just some more pictures on the walls. I think like this cupcake one's super cute. Let's put that one there. Then I think that's it for that room. Then we can move on to our last adults room, which I think this one does look pretty cool. Again, it's just a couple of things. Like, I'm not a big fan of those. Change these, and obviously we're going to want to change these to a slightly different color as well. Thinking just like brown would be quite good. I'd do the same with the bath as well. Make it a little bit lighter. That looks pretty good. I think there's one bit I want to add for the bath though, which is there's like this one little bit that you can have next to your bath and it just looks really cool. Hang on, let me find it. Here we go, this bit, which I definitely want to include just next to this bath here. And then I think we need some towels as well, because there's no towels anywhere. Put it there, and then maybe on the other side we have just one of these. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Cool, we'll go with that for that bathroom, and then let's go back over to this room where we're going to change the floor a little bit. I think I'm going to do the similar floor that we did in here, just because it's a little bit nicer. And then I'm also going to use the same walls as well. Actually, or we could go with a little bit lighter wall, maybe something like this. Yeah, let's go with this one. I don't think it's that different from the one that was already there. Then I am going to change the doors. We've got the same doors in each of these. Prefer them to be this one. So we can go ahead and grab our wardrobe. So I think I'm going to go with a quite simple one like this, and then put a TV here, because we do have the bed facing that area. Just put a little TV on the wall there. Then add a couple of little bits down here. I'm thinking just like a couple of plants. Then obviously we do have this whole side of the wall as well, and some little side tables that are definitely needed. I'm actually not the biggest fan of the carpet being in this room. I think it worked in the other one. This one I might just do wood again. How does that look? It's not too overdoing it. No, it looks fine. So in terms of bedroom, I think for mirror, I'm going to put it right next to the bed here, so that it's taking up like, so that you can see everything from the bed. And then here is where I'm going to put like a little picture or something. We do actually have a ceiling fan already in this room as well, which is perfect. That's what I was going to include because I added it in the other room as well. So let's go grab some pictures. I'm thinking something a bit more simple, like one picture would be good. Just like a whole world picture. I mean, I actually really like that. I don't know why that looks so good. And then let's go ahead and grab in our little side tables and then those back. And then we could grab another rug that I think works a little bit better. So I'm going to do one there. We're going to mimic the one that's in the living room. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a plant on one and probably a lamp on the other. Ooh, we could do a lamp, or we could do a candle. I wonder whether a candle will be a bit better. Yeah, we do maybe this one. Yeah, that looks nice. Then let's grab in our rug. I quite like this rug. Yeah, I think that looks good. Cool. So that's that room done. And then we can move on to the next one, which is our little sort of activity area. So I think I'm going to clean this area out. Obviously, we decided this wasn't going to be a garage because it didn't fit with the raised up sections that we'd added, which is fine. We can work something else out for it. I think it'd be good to get in some more windows. To be fair, we do have the windows on that side, so it's not really necessary. I kind of like the idea of it being a gym, but I think if I was going to do it as a gym, it would be just a gym, so we don't add in any of the other little bits that had been in there. So for this, I would like a tiled floor. Not the biggest fan of the tiles that are in there at the minute, so if we just fix that up and change it to something else. I really like the spa day ones. Yeah, something like this I think works quite well. Change the walls a little bit too, even if it's just to something. I don't really know actually what you change it to. What about like these ones? Oh no, that's bad. What if we changed it to something that's on the outside? So we changed it to like these ones. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, let's go with that. Then grab our equipment. I like the idea of, as well, of having like a little hydration station in gyms. So I always include like a little drinks fridge like this, and then a little countertop with like a little tap on it. So I'm going to go with this kind of color scheme, and then I'm going to grab a tap as well. There we go. And then you can add little storagey bits top as well. There we go. Perfect. Then we can add in our gym stuff. So I'm going to go with the more like extravagant stuff, as we do have like quite a bit of like modern kind of furniture in here. I'm going to go with one of those. I'm going to add one of these to this back section here as well. I might put that there actually and move this so that you can see out the window. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Then I'm going to add in this little punching bag as well just here. There we go. I think that works quite well. Finally, I just think maybe like a couple of pictures or something would work. Don't really know what kind of pictures you'd add though. Just like simple things, I guess, like this. Maybe more like abstract pieces? I don't really know. I don't think you tend to have a lot on the walls, to be fair. Maybe one thing on this side as you come in. Maybe even this one that I put here. Yeah, I think that looks good. Cool. So I think that's everything fixed up and like amended and stuff. And that was the renovation of LuckaCapitan's build. This was actually pretty fun to do. I think it was a little bit challenging as the original build was actually super good already. So there wasn't really a massive amount that I could do in terms of like changing it. I did just kind of want to amend like some of the rooms to add a couple of my favorite bits in. I obviously kind of completely gutted and redid the kitchen. Personally, I prefer like a sort of more rounder kitchen rather than a much more open kitchen, but I think that's just personal preference. I obviously added in a big old skylight as well. I changed up the little fire pit to be a little bit bigger, and then I obviously added a bar in as well. I raised the whole thing up just to make it feel like it was a little bit larger rather than being a bit more flat, and then just tweaked a few other little bits, including like wall colors and obviously like the floors as well. But I think this build was actually super good to begin with. I would love to do this again, so if you are interested in me renovating one of your builds, please leave your ID below and let me know if there's a specific one you'd like me to redo. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post long videos like this every Wednesday and Friday, and I post shorts the rest of the week. There's a recommended video on the screen now, so if you enjoyed this one, please do check that one out too, and I hope you all have a great rest of your evening.